I don't know why he had to kill my dog. That dog loved Justin. My dog loved Justin down in Florida. I had a pit bull. He was a military dog, and he was a soldier. He was a veteran, and I would have said that him and Justin, hey, they were going to be big friends. Justin used to come over all the time, but hey, look how it turned out. But he was Justin's first military dog, but he was my dog. But me and Justin were best friends when it came to training. And when we were inside my pool, because hey, we had several pools, right? We're in Florida, and whatever the hot tub. We all know the hot tub. But anyways, my dog used to jump in, and I showed Justin. I said, "Watch this," and you acted like you were drowning in the water, and the dog would come get you, and he would take your hand and very softly bring it to the edge of the water. And I showed Justin. And Justin acted like Justin was like, well, you could tell something was wrong. I mean, I think, well, Justin just he was a little bit jealous of the pool and the dog, and at the time I well, I hadn't even thought about it. I How I had seen it was Justin was my cousin. We would have called each other brothers. But he didn't know I came from Canada. Like I told him like I'm from Canada or whatever. But he knew. But the funny thing is Justin and me ended up to be related or whatever. When it came, it's just a coincidence. Like God set it all up. Where Justin was from. See, because when I first met Justin, it was all about Justin, which I didn't mind, hey, because I was new to America, um, so I never wished, and they knew I was not a bad person like that, so I never wished harm on Justin, so they could tell me whatever, and he told me like they're from Holland or what have you, and but I was like, hey, I might actually back then I didn't discover because his mom is very Polish. She's very traditional in her speaking, everything about her. She's wonderful. Her name is Viola, still is Viola. And I have a secret crush on Viola or whatever now that I've gotten older or what have you. And I did back then, but I haven't seen Viola recently. But hey, it's the whole vibe. I even like Justin's sister. And what is it called? But his mom, she had the language. I wish his sister. I haven't talked to his sister. Maybe his mom. Do talk like. But I noticed they were very similar, but they were. I knew they were like a little bit different than me though. But then I found out I was from like my mixtures and whatnot. But back then I didn't. But anyways, I had the dog. Yeah, Justin will remember him. He showed me Bear Share, LimeWire, and Bear Share. LimeWire, what is that? It was like this thing to download music. You heard Soldier Boy talk about it. Yeah, I was in America for LimeWire and all that, Napster and yada yada. But I didn't really have that good of a computer. It was Justin that was downloading programs. At the time, I was like, hey, I'd probably be good at this computer stuff because, like, programs and whatever, hey, it seems pretty interesting. Like, I would be an expert at it. But I didn't know because I was never good at nothing. But Justin showed me the Bear Share, whatever. I wasn't anything I had tried at till that point. I wasn't very good at skateboarding. I couldn't land a trick and stuff like that. But then Justin showed me that, and I learned more about programs like that you download and install on your PC, software and all that, and the music. That you could download music. And I think he even let me sit down. He was so generous. He was so generous that he just let me sit down on his computer, and I just went on BearShare, and that's all I did. And I was like just downloading music, and you felt so badass downloading the music and all that, and you'd listen to it and all that, and then slowly and surely time was going on, and then we seen like the iPod and all that started to get big, and then me and Justin, I don't think, started hanging around as much around when, I think, just around when they released that new iPod or whatever, and da 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 da. That was like the first ever iPod, because they were it had nothing to do with Justin. We just stopped hanging out. I think I had moved. My parents got divorced, and I had moved to a separate area. I was living with my mom or whatever. But we would see each other every once in a while, and he still would hang out and yada yada. My mom started renting, whereas my dad was the homeowner. My dad was a homeowner, and my mom was a renter because she divorced. They got divorced. So my mom went on to be renting, whereas my dad owned his home and or whatever, yada yada. Because my dad got an inheritance, but that's neither the fact nor the business of anybody. But that's beside our friendship. But that's as you get older or whatever. But we're not really friends too much anymore. We're friends on Facebook, and hey, I respect his military career and yada yada. He went to Afghanistan during Desert Storm, and I always held that very highly, even back when I was younger. I had said I was so proud of Justin. I couldn't believe it. And I even showed my mom, and she couldn't believe it either, that there was Justin with his U.S. Army military uniform on with the whole thing and everything. And I remember Justin saying that to me one day or whatever when we were at the Disney parks or what have you. I can't remember what park, Universal Studios or something. And they had the advertisement banner, and it said, what did it say? Oh, it said veterans get a certain price into the park and all that. Me and Justin went to the park so many times, it's unbelievable. And I'm sure Justin's went many more times as an adult, which I haven't got to do. I never got to go to the parks as an adult, unfortunately. But when I was younger, I was a kid. I never got to enjoy the adult side of America, which I wish I would have. I had the money to, but I don't know what it was. Something to do with Obama, they say. But I always wanted to go to I got to go to many strip clubs up here in Canada and all that. But anyways, yeah, we went as a kid or whatever, and he seen that. Yeah, and I was like, hey, this guy's going to be real military. And I was contemplating becoming U.S. military when I was down there. I was like, is this something you want to do? I was big into it. And I just said, it's just not the role, the specific roles. They just weren't the role I wanted to do. And it was like, yeah, I see that you could go over there with a gun, and they issue a gun, and you can do this and that. But it's like, I heard about this Amazon and this business and dollars. I heard about how you could make money in America. You didn't have to be a soldier. You could also learn how to make websites or do videos or whatever. So I wanted to start getting into skateboard videos. I thought that was the big money at first, and I realized, hey, that ain't going to be big money. So, because I was already into skateboarding, but like I said, I couldn't land a trick. So I didn't have much money. So I was just trying to like come up with some kind of money out of thin air. My dad wasn't giving me nothing. He hated my business. He wanted me to work he said he wanted me to work as a plumber, but he knows he wanted me to be everything I am today. So anyways, what would I do? Oh, it was just odd jobs, and then I got into skateboarding a bit. I tried to get my friend, maybe. I didn't ask him too many. I asked him one time, hey, you want to start doing skateboarding videos? I knew there was no money in this kid or whatever, so I dropped it. And I was like, hey, my brother, he can rhyme and all that. So my brother started rapping and all that, but. So, and my brother, he had this dream, okay? And there was no stopping him. He wanted to be a big-time rapper, okay? And that made money for a long time, that rap stuff. Learning that stuff. I had to learn that stuff anyway because at the end of the day, I wanted to be military and all that. because I was an innocent person. Like my see, so I started to get into the music videos and all that because I didn't understand it. And I was doing like, oh, all I did was work, computer, all different computer hustles, working forums on the forums to service on Skype and all that with just learning and marketing and all that, trying to save my money and create businesses. But then I found PPD, but that's something or the other. You know, I did a lot of music videos and it wasn't making much money. Like, I thought, hey, I heard you get $50,000 for a music video. And no, they're barely paying $100. They're barely paying, they're not even paying 300, 500, nothing like that. Very rarely, sorry, do you get like even a couple $100 out of these guys. So I was like, this is not even making me money. So this, I said, this must be a more of a hobby than it is like a job. So, hey, it's a cold, hard world. I didn't have the time to sit there and explain my theories to every single person that, hey, people used to treat me bad anyway. Why would I teach them about that? So, so then I would think about money or whatever, because that was my true desire. I wanted money or whatever, not like freaking just yelling to a thing or whatever, yada yada. So then I seen there was this one job where you have to send leads, traffic, internet traffic. They pay you by commission for internet traffic that you can send to people, but it's got to be like legitimate. You know, there can't be like, yeah, and all that. Like, there's got to be legitimate methods and all that, real traffic, like, and advertisements and all that. And I made a lot of money with that for a long, long time. But I knew I was going to have to fall back on my disability for a long, long time or whatever, because I'm a natural born citizen. I've been here since 1993, and my dad and them been here since the 50s and 60s, and their dads have been here since the 20s and the 1800s, and their dads have been here since the 1700s and all that, and 16. It's like, so we've been here a long time, all right, okay? So that's what put me into my place. And it's not even just anything to do with money in your account. It also has to do with your DNA. It's like your family was, believe it or not, they did a certain work or whatever. And when you get hungry, that comes out of you. And it happened that my through my nomenclature, that's what makes me kind of cry a little bit, but that they had certain skills and characteristics. It's one of my theories, like, and it's a fact that every living person doesn't just come from thin air. That's something a kid believes. You actually come from your elder mother and father, and then they had a mother and father, and they had a mother and father, and every single person that ever lived had a mother and father until you hit that eventual evolution or God's creation or whatever it have you. But when you go back thousands of years, we have mothers and fathers. And they say it goes all the way back to like some kings and all that from a long, long time ago. So I've spiritually, that's what it's called, spiritually enabled to connect with certain aspects of my DNA from my home countries, even though we've been in Canada for hundreds of years. And this is something my mom doesn't even know how to do. She does it by accident because she drinks a lot. So she sort of sometimes ignores some of her, which is unfortunate. And I'm trying to get her to drink more cold water. I'm the best person for my mom to be around because I tell her, Mom, drink more cold water. Get on the cold water and yada yada and all that. Because people don't care about people. Okay? Only your son cares about you generally, like a person like me. And hey, some sons don't care either. But what am I saying here? I'm the internet son. Hey, I'm your son too. But what is it? I don't know what I was saying, but it was a pretty good ramble. And I do like ice water. I suggest get one of these thermoses. It keeps it really cold. It's probably the best bottle when it comes to temperature that I've tested. I had the blender bottle. When it comes to temperature and all that, this one beats it. Same with taste. Even though I like how the blender bottle had the lid and the handle and all that, This one's got a metal in the it's got metal on the inside, and that's irrelevant. There was a time I had a broken thermos back 20 years ago, but it's not even anything similar anymore. They've changed the whole technology. It's a whole new thermos. It's metal on the inside completely, right? And when you put ice in it, it keeps it cold for like 15 hours. I swear to God, and it's like an insane cold. I put ice water in it with ice, and I go to bed. I wake up like 8 hours later, and I'm like, and it's still got ice in it, and it's still like ice cold, and it's water. Yeah. So that's how nice that is. And then when you put the ice water in it, it's like instantly cold, like within seconds, because the metal, and it has such a good taste with the metal because the plastic soaks it in. So you get an ill taste off it after a while when you get a plastic bottle. So I highly recommend these thermoses. Thermos. It's the same company, Thermos.